Thank you, Kamarike, for that report. And yes, indeed, difficult questions, but answers must be given. Victims of alleged abductions and enforced disappearances are accusing the government of excluding them from the ongoing compensation program for victims of anti-government protest. The survivors now claim they have been removed from the list of beneficiaries, despite having been verified by the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights. They are also challenging a fresh authentication process introduced by the Professor Makamutua-led panel, describing it as unlawful and lacking legal backing.
Survivors of abduction and enforced disappearances have raised an alarm over what they describe as the exclusion from the government's compensation program for victims of anti-government demonstrations. Speaking in Nairobi on Friday, the victims claimed that they had received information indicating that they would not be compensated despite being among those verified by the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights. Their lawyer Abna Mango argued that excluding victims of enforced disappearances amount to selective implementation of the compensation process and violates their constitutional rights.
The framework, as was presented to the president, with the 1101 names, including 135 of torture and 35 of enforced disappearances, all they ought to do is implement.
The survivors also questioned a fresh authentication exercise being conducted by Professor Makamutua panel, insisting that the committee had no legal mandate to re-verify victims already cleared by the Human Rights Commission.
Furnish us with that list, because they have, in their endless statements, keep on saying that they shall publish at the Gazette at an unknown date. So we have asked the court to make it public, and we have also asked the court to quash this so-called authentication process.
The group has moved to court seeking orders to compel the panel to disclose its plans for victims of enforced disappearances and torture, as well as publish the list of those already compensated.
We have credible information that the government has made a decision not to compensate victims of enforced disappearances and abductions.
So tungeomba Makamutua haache hii uongo na aweze kutueleza majina na process mahali amefikia, sababu ni muda umeenda na tunaona wananyamaza na serikali tayari zilishawachilia fidia.
Among those affected is Minnie Gathoni, who sustained a gunshot injury during the Gen Z protests. She says despite assurances that the compensation will be paid, she is still waiting as the medical bills continue to pile up.
But what we want to know, when is our money? When are we going to get our money? I have some things I'm supposed to do to clear all my bills, my son's school fees. I have not done that. Waiting because you say they're going to compensate us.
Chris Wahome, KTN.
The long-running battle over the ownership